Hello and welcome to round 4 of the Paddock Sim Racing's GT3 Pro Driver Series here at Zolder in Asseto Corsa Competizione Xbox Edition. Hello everybody, how's everybody doing? Everybody doing alright this lovely weekend? Great weekend for racing. Let's see, lovely temperatures out on track. Partly cloudy, no chances of rain all weekend long here at Zolder, which is great. It means everybody can push to their limits and fine-tune their tunes. Should have a full 20 car field here this weekend. Few new faces as well as a majority of the top points contenders. So that is going to be pretty awesome. Check out points contenders while everybody continues to jump into the race, the server. You can see Top Secret still leading the points as of right now, heading into round 4. Everybody relatively close in the points battle. Remember, there are drop races this season, so the points battles are going to be incredibly close after the final calculations. So look forward to that. That's going to be pretty cool to see, although we have a lot of racing between then and now. Enough of that, but we will scope out some of the guys out here on track this weekend. Ferraris and Hondas and Bentleys and McLarens and Porsche and Mercedes and Audis. Oh my. Hi everybody joining the stream. Just getting things underway. And I am keeping an eye on chat as well. If there's any particular car that you are wanting to snoop on or take a gander at, let me know in chat and we'll go and spy together. Except Black ZR1. We are not allowed to watch Black ZR1 because it seems every time we do, he finds himself in the kitty litter by some strange fluke. We had 2 races in a row. As soon as we start watching the McLaren of Black ZR1, just gets immediately hit by a dinosaur. I don't know, something. It's pretty funny how that keeps happening to him. I mean, not for him, but for us spectators, it's quite comical. Oh, yes. Alright, now that everybody's pretty much in the server, I think we're missing, what, 2 more? 2 more drivers. I am your commentator, TPSR Weasel, as always here this weekend. So you'll get to hear my train wreck of a voice through this entire event. You just want to listen to the cars? I'm sorry, you have to listen to me too, but you can mute me and just watch the pretty cars. That's a thing you could do. But it should be fun nonetheless. Alright. Got Stahl out there in official free practice with a 129.9 on the board. Followed very closely by GRT Erish in his Mercedes. Oh, as there's a massive scuffle in the first chicane, the infamous high curb chicane. Like the McLaren off there. It looks like it also got Erish. Probably threw off his rhythm just a bit heading through there with cars. Looked like off on either side of the track. definitely throughout all of practices this week, on-track battles have been incredibly close with the majority of the drivers, so I'm very interested to see how everybody gets on together on track. Should be a good time. All right, and if you did want to see other drivers' perspectives, head over to our Discord channel, and in our streaming section, you can check out a whole bunch of onboard camera angles there. I believe Smokes and Top Secret will be streaming, as well as several others, I believe. Ooh, what is Eric or Medicated doing? Super close to the pit wall there. Not entirely sure what that was about. As you can see, lap time's very close here. Apparently, Sector 1 has been a little bit of a trouble spot for a lot of these guys, but we'll see how they get on with 1.5 hours of racing here. Typically, you start to get that dialed in feel about a half an hour in here. At least, that's how it is for me. Stall improving once again just a bit with a 1:29.6. But for the most part, most of everybody is still in the 31s. We've seen almost a couple 28s in practice sessions in the pub lobby. As you can see the final points board going across the bottom of your screen there. After Silverstone. Yeah. Back. It's Stall heading back into pits. Lost a driver. Looks like we lost Medicated again. He had some internet issues last race, which did not turn out well for him. Hopefully he's got that all sorted. And restart your router. Control-Alt-Delete. Works every time, they say. Eris dropped a spot from Lobster. Proven very quick in round 3. New to the TPSR series, but very quick indeed, as well as Andre. First season here at TPSR. Came in a couple rounds ago. Gotta carry as much speed as possible through that turn 2. Very hard to do. Odd apexed corners, 1 and 2. But if done right, that's a second about off your time. As Doggy Hat off in the gravel, jumps back to pits. Free practice session has ended for these guys now, and we will jump straight into qualifying. And so far, SPS Stale jumps the top of the charts right now with a 1:29.622. Followed very closely by Lobster. Alright. As our 19th driver joins qualifying session now. I believe that's Trip. Let's see what these guys have. Of course, Stall, one of the first. The top 3 in points, I believe, at the moment are the top drivers out on track. Top Secret, Stall, and Erish. Very excited to see how these guys combat each other out on track this weekend. Last weekend was door-to-door for pretty darn the entirety of Silverstone. And some pretty cold weather conditions too, might I add. Very tricky tire temperature balance for last weekend. This weekend, very nice. Track temp is 34°C, a little hot, but very manageable for tires management. As we lost someone. Got several cars off, 31, and I believe that was the 4 car of Arish. Now 31 still off just outside of the first chicane. Ooh, big bump there from the Audi just behind Ziki. Smokes. In earlier practice sessions in the week, the mid-engine cars did not have as much of a advantage over the front-engine cars here at Zolder. We'll see what happens. We got a lone Porsche here this weekend as well from Top Secret, who is running some pretty stellar lap times in that thing regardless. Very quiet Honda. Very tame. There we go. As drivers now starting their flying laps here at round 4 at Zolder. For those of you just coming in, this is round 4 at Zolder from the TPSR's GT3 Pro Driver Series. We should have 20 drivers here, but I do not see our 20th driver. Maybe they'll jump in here in a little bit, but welcome, welcome. I am your host, TPSR Weasel. Shameless plug here before lap times start rolling in, which they are going to. The 29.5 from Stahl. We'll see where Top Secret puts up. Yep, 29.0 from Top Secret, just behind the Bentley. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy our content. We are so close to 100 subs. Once we reach 100 subs, Weasel, will be doing 100 laps at Spa in the GT3 Porsche. And follow us over on our social media on Twitter at the Paddock_sim for all of the latest news. And join our Discord channel to sign up for race series. We have nearly a third of the way now for our GT3 Pro Driver Series, but in about a month's time, we will be starting our Porsche Carrera Porsche GT3 Porsche Cup season, our second season of that, so that should be pretty cool. Those will be held on Sunday nights, same starting time as this bad mamma jamma here. I think that's all of the announcements I have to do right now. I know TPSR Esport is recruiting drivers, so if you want to join our ranks here in TPSR, head over to our Discord and at one of the admins like myself. And Stahl rebuttals with a 28.8. Just 2/10 up from Top Secret. Arish still back into the 30s. About a second and a half behind Stahl. Majority of the field in the low 31s to 32s, which is what most of us were seeing in practice. A little bit of a upset Mercedes right there. Lobster improves, just sitting half a second behind pole position right now. Looks like we got another fighting contender for a podium here this season, as Lobster has definitely shown incredible pace this season. As Medicated jumps up right underneath Arish, just a couple 100 seconds back. Also a very incredibly fast driver there. Black CR1, fast lap time there from the first of the McLarens. Still several drivers needing to complete their flying laps here. Lobster hops in pit lane. Quick adjustment real quick. Plenty of time to get back out there and run a little bit more, as Top Secret does the same. Ziki jumping right in the midst of Medicated and Arish, literally running the exact same lap time as our fourth place car. So both are super close right there. That's going to come down to pulling straws. My gosh. Ziki comes back to pits real quick as well. Very impressive lap times here from everybody at the moment. Arish coming to across the line. Let's see if he improves. No improvement there from Arish. So the 114 gets a little sideways heading into that final left-right chicane. Pole sitter comes into pit lane. '47 of Elzebor. First of TPSR Team Audi at the moment. They do improve. Smokes improves as well, just behind. As Top Secret goes to start his flyer after his hop back to pits. Incredibly close lap times. Doggy Hat jumping up to fourth, moving Beefy and Arish back. Right now, it's just those top three. There. Doggy Hat just getting into the 29s with 29.9. The top three right now, sniffing at high 28s. A fight for fourth place right now between Doggy Hat, Arish, Beefy, Ziki, and Medicated. Followed very closely by Black CR1. You guys, 4/10 stretches across 6 drivers. '22 of Beefy heading through the final sector now on a flyer. No improvement. Starts another. Where is that? The 17 car? Is that 17? 47? Who is that? 27. 27, Doggy Hat goes through. All of these drivers here coming through to start their flyers. Number 12, Mittens. A little squirrely coming out of that final corner. He improves enough to jump in front of Vinny. 4 minutes left in the session. These guys have plenty of time. Although it's going to go away very, very quickly. Another 3 laps for most. Next of the front runners here in the Porsche. Board with Top Secret as he comes through that final set of corners. Very smooth on the exit. Improves, but just a bit. Still 2/10 behind Stahl as Lobster goes through just about a 10th ahead of Top Secret. Very impressive lap time from that 24 Ferrari. Ooh, onto the curbs on the inside line. That's going to scuff a lot of speed. Heading onto this mid-straight. Classify that back straight? Is that the back straight? I should have a track map up, but I can't pronounce any of these corners. Huge bunny hop going over the curbs in the first chicane. Two cars together. Coming across the line. The 51 and the 72, I believe. Yes, 47 comes through, no improvement. Incredibly close lap times. Wow. Wow. Say it again. Wow. Very much looking forward to the start of this race. Stahl goes through and improves again. About another 10th in that Bentley. About another lap time's worth of time left here in qualifying. So for pretty much everybody, this will be their last one as they come across the line. Let's see where the 24, the 992, using all of the curb and a little bit too much. Trying to squeeze every bit out of that. Arish improves once again, moving back up to 4th. Really loves that 4th position here in this series. The 992 goes across the line. I don't think there was an improvement there. The 24 about to cross the line. See if he got anything else out of it. Nope. Not quite. The 617 is still out, and the 99. And the 99 is not on a flyer, though. As qualifying session comes to a close. Very nice. As still a few cars left out there, but I'm pretty sure SPS Stahl will claim pole position once again here this season. taking Zolder. Oh, Lobster is still out on a flyer. He came across the line just before time end, so he has the opportunity to take away pole position from Stell. He's looking very smooth coming through the backside of this track. Into the heavy brake zone. Very important to get a great launch out of here. Curb to curb. Nicely done. The gray and green Ferrari heading down the straight into the second chicane. He doesn't have it. He pulls off into pit lane. That is your grid order for this race. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break. Grab a beverage, grab some snacks, walk your fish, stretch your legs, start a fire. Not like a fire, but maybe like a fireplace, maybe a fire pit. Maybe you're making some baked Alaska. I don't know. But take a short break. We will come right back for 1.5 hours of Zolder. We're about a minute left here in our intermission. You can see our cool little polls that we had here and points from Silverstone. Let's run that one again. Yeah, we asked you guys in Discord chat, which is your favorite livery out of the North Star Lexus team? And you guys voted. Drumroll, please. The 72, Zeki's Sweet Whip. Very nice, very nice. Great choice. But our next poll will be, also on Discord, which of the Hondas do you guys prefer? Honda or Ferrari? Which do you prefer? Coming up very soon to the start of the race. Cars are getting off of the jacks. Engines are starting to be fired. Jump back here in just a second. Oh, hang on. We gotta redo it. I don't know why. This silly game. Alright, we have to back out and then jump back in. This game is broken. It just doesn't work! Alright, hang on, we're not missing anything. They're still on their formation lap. Quickly. Alright, let's hop in there. They should be just coming through the first couple set of corners and onto the back straight. Everybody grab their snacks and their beverages, because it is going to be a long and very intense race. Definitely heating up the tires there. One mandatory pit stop for tires, I believe, this race. You can pick up fuel as well, but for the most part, kind of curious to see what the strategy is going to be for these guys here this weekend. Fuel might take you the entire way if you're fairly conservative and running a map fitted to do so. But you'd have to stop for tires regardless. As driver starts to double up. Now heading down the straight. This little chicane. The final of the chicanes at Zolder. And we are about to go green flag here, with Stahl taking the lead of the field on the inside line. The green flag flies and we're away for round 4 of the Paddock Sim Racing's GT3 Pro Series. Let's see what the action is going to be. So almost a Ferrari collects the back of a Mercedes there, but dove off on driver's right just in time, nicely, as they funnel in to turn 2. Very beautifully. I don't know if anybody collected any spots from that. Ooh, there's an Audi off. I believe that's Elzebor off there in the back of the field. Ooh. Couple drivers getting squirrely in the back side of the track here. Ooh, a little hip bump there from the 530 machine. So I believe that was Andre. But for the most part, a relatively clean start for this race, as the no position changes up front. Stall, Lobster, Top Secret, Arish in that order. Beefy and Doggy Hat very close in tow as well, in their Ferraris, itching to make a move on the Mercedes of Arish. The train of cars keeps coming down into the hairpin as there is a Elzebor. It looked like he was going to make a move there. Or was that Smokes? That might have been Smokes. Nope, that was Elzebor making a move on the Lexus, I believe. Very close. Leaders not really pulling away from each other, but relatively spread out. As they complete lap 1 here. Doggy Hat flying through turn 3 there. The Porsche tackling the first chicane curb. And it's going to be very easy to cut a tire here. You got to watch that. Especially here in the second chicane. Porsche is very good here, as are the Ferraris. One of the many spots that the mid and rear engine cars can take advantage of the weight balance, but the front engine cars seem to have the edge everywhere else here on this track. At least from this week's practice. Top Secret now right up underneath the wing of Lobster's wing on the Ferrari. Stall with a little bit of a gap, about a second or so, almost 2 seconds ahead of the Ferrari of Lobster, just after 2 laps. Impressive work indeed. Stall leading a little bit. Lobster defending the inside line in turn 2 from Top Secret. Arish, a little bit of breathing room from Beefy and Doggy Hat as they're now starting to go for position passes. Everywhere else very close together. It looked like Smoke's making up a few positions as Black ZR1 falls back on track just a bit, as well as Andre. Missed those incidences. Just going through the grid. Elzebor making up a few spots as well over Mittens. Ferrari of Vinny and Tripp kind of out in no man's land at the moment. Oh, as Top Secret gets around the Ferrari of Lobster as the sign goes flying, as somebody collected that at some point. Bouncing off the rev limiter of the Porsche as they come through the hairpin. And on to the final straight, I would say. Now time for Top Secret to try and run down that Bentley, who has a bit of a comfortable lead, about a 2.5 second, 3 seconds now, over second place. As soon as Top Secret got around the Ferrari, gained about a 1.5 gap to the Ferrari. Now the Ferrari in danger of losing another position to Arish, as Arish is slowly starting to reel him in as well. And you have the triplets of the Ferraris back here. Beefy, Doggy Hat, and Medicated. Medicated slowly reeling in this battle as well. Getting a little offhand. Door-to-door action at the beginning of the race now. Out there by himself as Zeke, first of the Lexuses, hanging in on the leading pack right now. It's Buzzball doing well to move up a few positions. And is also out in no man's land. Trip and Vinny very close together. Weren't like that in the previous timing screen. Everybody's starting to spread out quite nicely now. As Stahl maintains the lead over Top Secret as they complete lap 4. Laps are going to go very, very quickly here. Very clean start to this race. A little bit of shoulder and hip checking, but nothing too outrageous so far that we have seen. I'm sure Twitch clips and replays will show us otherwise in the incident reviews over on Discord. Those smokes in pit lane. I don't think there's any damage on that machine. Could be strategic. Benster also joining in pit lane. That might be from damage. Oh, that was Smokes leaving pit lane. So he did have a bit of an incident. 55 cars right behind him as well, Andre. Maybe they got into it at some point out there on track. No changes so far here in the top 5. Medicated looks like he's reeling them in a little bit. Fleet of Ferraris up here in front. As the 13 car also in pit lane, Benster, he's just now leaving. He will be down a lap and come out right in front of the 530 machine. This Fuzzball will try to look and go around the outside. Has to work pretty hard right now. Benster lets the Mercedes go. Nobody stopped for their tires yet here in round 4. So no undercutting strategies to be played out just yet. But the race is still young. Not even 10 minutes have passed. As race leader comes down the final straight into the final chicane. We'll go through to complete 6 laps. Very, very busy racetrack. There is no free time here at Zolder. Very tiny bit on the back straight, but that's all you get. Now, about a 5-second gap between first and second, as that Bentley just seems to be on rails right now. Smooth through turn 3. Top drivers seem to be kind of just settling into their rhythms right now. Lot of race left to go. Hit your marks. Only watch out for those curbs. A cut tire this early in the race isn't the worst, but it's definitely not going to do you any good in the long run. Sure to not get any track extension penalties. I believe we'll probably see maybe just one in here this weekend. Very easy to do in that second chicane. Just turn the wheel a little bit too much or a little bit too much throttle. Heading into the second part there, but the 47 car and Triplowski, like they had a bit of an incident there in that second chicane. We were just talking. Looks like Triplowski will lose 2 positions, Elzebor and a black ZR1. XCR1 heading back up through the field. We're not going to spectate him because every time we do, he gets hit with a tornado. Larkin now catching up to this battle here. Was several positions back, making up a few spots. Consistency is definitely going to be a factor here this weekend. That is definitely going to be a thing. As Doggy Hat and Beefy still duking it out. Here just behind the 4th place Mercedes. Doggy Hat and Medicated in great position for team points in that points championship. Let me check to see the points championship right now. So it is Doggy Hat and Medicated leading the team points championship, followed very closely by Larkin and Zeke, and Arish and Fuzzball in 3rd place in the points championship battle right now. And over there on Twitch, we got several streamers streaming. Smokes, Beefy, Top Secret, all of those drivers streaming from their perspectives at the moment. So head over there and check out their onboard cams. Tell them Weasel sent ya. Fantastic start to this race, I would have to say. No, a very tough track to battle for overall positions. This is going to be a track that is going to require the least amount of mistakes for these leaders right now, as Stahl just continuing to extend his lead over Top Secret right now, as the gap 6 seconds as he crosses the line. I believe that gap is going to extend even more through, gaining about half a second a lap over the rest of the field. That Bentley is very happy here this weekend. On board with the 992 car in 2nd place, Lobster might have lost the position to Top Secret in lap 2, but has yet to let him go, holding onto that leash tight. Any little bobble, and that Ferrari is in prime position to pounce. Let's take a look back in the pack and see what's going on back here. Jump aboard with the 55 car, just trailing the 74 and the 12 machine. So it looks like Smokes gained a few positions that lap over these guys. After having to make a pit stop very early on. Him and Benster both a lap down, as very, very spread out field now, just with 15 minutes down. The leaders lapping at incredible pace at the moment, putting the tail end of the field already in danger of being lapped here in the next few minutes. Oh! Smoke's getting a little squirrely coming through the first chicane. Good feet to control the throttle on exit there, as he is trying to get at his position. Not a fight for overall position, but his lap back over the Honda. Oh, as the Honda lets him go. As Andre doesn't want Smokes to go. Mittens. That was a battle for overall position. The door was open. Don't mind if I do situation. Very nice pass right there by Andre. Buzzball losing several positions now. As Larkin now up to 11th. These two Ferraris, so that looks like Beefy looking to make a move on Arish. We can't see anything because the camera's turned too small, but Arish had the fast line out of the corner and no position change just yet. We're going to keep an eye on this battle because that was incredibly close. Trying to force the maneuver. The Ferrari knows where it's fastest. Beefy keeping good hands on the Ferrari. Not lose ground to the Mercedes on exit there. Both Doggy Hat and Beefy. Still nose to tail since the beginning of the race. And still trying to find their way past the Mercedes of Arish. But Arish definitely not making it easy for the two ponies sitting behind him. Can't forget Medicated. Just a few seconds back from this battle. Andre and Mittens definitely duking it out, heading through that final corner. No position changes there either. Race leader now just one corner away from Mittens here. Probably see official lapped traffic within 30 minutes of this race, so it's about to get pretty gosh darn interesting heading into the final hour of this race. Synchronized downshifting by the Ferraris. Intensity of this battle right now has definitely got me on the edge of my seat. Beefy looking for any advantage over the Mercedes. He definitely reels him in under braking circumstances here. We'll see if he's sets himself up for the hairpin. Very challenging spot to make a move here. It's a very one-lined race line. Arish not all the way out to the grass, kind of trying to defend that inside line. But just the sheer torque of that V8 on the exit, though, keeps him out in front. Race leader now almost 9 seconds over second place, completing 13 laps right now as Black ZR1 loops it. Coming out of the second chicane, he's going to lose several spots. He'll be right behind Andre and Smokes. Decent gaggle of cars heading across the line right now. And that Smokes in pit lane. He may be able to do this mandatory stop now and get it out of the way. Cruise to the end. Maybe do an decent sized undercut. Erish still leading Beefy and Doggy Hat. Great battle going on here. Let's head on down to our pit reporter, Weasel, in the pit booth. Find out what's going on with Black CR1. Yeah, we're down here in the booth of the 31 McLaren, and he is in pit lane. Had a bit of a tumble in the second set of chicanes. Pit crew told him to come on in. We'll see if he gets fuel and tires, and see if he heads back out. Thanks, Weasel. Great reporting. We'll see what happens to the McLaren as we jump back to the battle here of Beefy. That's what come in. Black CR1 did not take tires, so his mandatory stop still needs to be done. Beefy of the 22 car. Thank you, Weasel, in the booth, by the way. The 22 car looking to the inside line, and then the outside line heading through the hairpin. Definitely trying to force the issue now that we are about an hour left here in the race. That leaving Doggy Hat to come right back up underneath the wing of the 22 car. So if the door is open, I can almost guarantee that the second Ferrari of Doggy Hat is going to make his way into the fray. Heavy braking of the Ferraris through turn 2. Erish definitely not making it easy. The 22 car on the outside line. Defending the inside line by Erish. An over-under move, maybe. Gonna scrub a lot of speed on the exit of 3. The Ferrari on the outside line into the first set of chicanes. Couldn't get the pass done there. Just too much torque coming out of that Mercedes. Back up the hill. Definitely showing his Ferrari in all of the mirrors of that Mercedes right now. Ooh, heavy braking. Heavy braking by Doggy Hat. Tried to avoid the rear end of Beefy. A very close call right there indeed. Some fantastic racing. His race leader now starting to make his way through lapped traffic. That is only going to make things even more interesting as Erish starts to come up to them now. Top Secret starting to reel in. Stall through lap traffic just a bit. That's seems to be the only advantage that the Porsche has right now over the Bentley. It's at 13 of Benster, the Ferrari, around just outside of turn 3. Ooh, there's an Audi off in the grass. I believe that Smokes through the first set of chicanes. Lights flashing as second place comes through. Audi gets out of the way. Nowhere for the Honda to go at the moment. Looks to the inside line and around. Honda also has to defend against Smokes coming through as well. Not a pass for position, but for overall lap back. Like the Audi's fighting for consistency here this weekend. Oh, as Smokes goes off track into the hairpin, misjudging his braking point. I don't think he collected mittens on that endeavor. He did not. But now third place is trying to make their way through the battle here as well. Now about only a 5-second gap between second and first place. Lap traffic is definitely going to be a massive factor here on this track. Very tight. end of second sector and into first sector, so third sector. Very challenging to make passes there. So you're gonna want to make your moves early. As Arish now starting to come through traffic as well. That's Benster on the outside. Let's stay away from the chaos that are these three right at the moment. Nobody has done their mandatory pit stop just yet. Several cars have been in pit lane, but that has been for damages and damages only. If you want to watch this battle in a more close-up manner, Beefy, there, that maroon Ferrari, is streaming. Oh, his doggy hat goes off just behind. I don't think he collected the wall, but it was just enough to lose a lot of ground over Arish and Beefy. As Medicated comes around the lap car just behind him. Teammate. Tripp losing a lot of ground to where he started this race. Now battling it out with Mittens. The 530 around outside of the second chicane. Race leader coming up to, I believe that's Elzabor. I believe that's a 47 car. Yep. Elzabor getting out of the way of the leader as is that Larkin? No, it's not Larkin. That is Onyx. Had a not so great start, but now all the way up into 12th. Consistency is key, as well as staying out of trouble here. He's about to have a whole lot more company, as Top Secret has taken yet another couple seconds out of stall through traffic. As Lobster is still about the same amount of time back. Onyx getting out of the way very kindly of Top Secret. Several cars in between Top Secret and Lobster. You have Black ZR1 and Onyx. I believe that was Onyx. Let's find out. That's Andre. Andre in the 55 car. Letting the 24 Ferrari go. Andre scooping his way through the open door that Lobster made on Onyx. Andre says, yes, I will come through. Please, thank you. And they go with now under an hour to go in this race. The chaos continues. GG Onyx. As the 22 car gets along the outside of Arish, and he will be scored in fourth over the Mercedes. Door to door as they go through turn one. The 4 car prime position for the next couple corners. Not really wanting to get Oh, as Arish definitely keeps that inside line nice and tight as Beefy hits the marbles on the outside of the track, losing a little bit of ground and losing the position back to GRT Arish. With a lot of lap traffic just ahead of them. McLaren lets the two of them go. Doggy Hat losing another position, but to teammate car, Medicated. They're about 4 seconds behind, so another incident must have occurred there. Two of them coming up onto some more lap traffic. And there's only 19 cars here this weekend. I believe this track can hold up to like 30, 40? I think it's like low 40s. Just imagine the amount of chaos we could have with that many cars out on track. Please, more cars, ACC. Hydration check, everybody. Drink some water. As you saw Trip off in the grass outside of turn 2. Oh! I believe that was Smokes. Just getting on the throttle way too soon, or a little too aggressively. And collecting the wall on the outside of the track. Definitely with some damages. That car is not a happy Audi. See if he's one of the first to come in for tires. And he doesn't come in. I believe in about another 15 minutes we'll start seeing people do a 50-50 strategy here. Maybe even a possible strategy for an overcut. If they can manage the tires long enough. Right on board with Beefy. that was a lap on board the 22 Ferrari of Beefy. Board with the leader completing 24 laps. So far this race, we will complete a lot more. 530 car in pit lane. Is he the first one to pull the trigger for the mandatory stop? Or is it for damages? If he's still right on the tail of that number 4 for Mercedes.
Pit window is opening.
Oh, there's a pit window this race. I did not know that was the thing. Thought it was open the entire time. So I guess not. I guess the 530 car wasn't in for a pit window. Is that supposed to be a thing? Let me check. Checking. I think the timer must have gotten messed up while saving the thing. It's a very odd time for it to open. But it is a 15-minute pit window, so we should see everybody jump in pit lane. I did not know there was a mandatory pit window for this race. That's interesting. I should probably pay attention to the rules. So, we'll start to see everybody come in pit lane in the next 13 minutes. As we already have takers. We got Fuzzball, Onyx, and Doggy Hat in pit lane. This isn't really going to miss, kind of toss up the field as I thought we were going to see, because everybody's pretty much just going to come in now. And then head right back out. But it is interesting. $50 minutes to go. Oh, and a stop and go for Doggy Hat. Pit lane violation. That is going to be a massive setback in time. Stop and go 30. That's going to hit hard. It's a very short pit lane, but it is easy to misplace where the pit lane markers start. And he already dropped back 5-6 spots while heading through pit lane. Andre and Medicated now heading into pit lane. It's going to be very interesting to see where and when the leaders come into pit lane. Vinny now all the way up into 7th, running consistently at the beginning of the race. Keeping your nose out of trouble. 51 Ferrari. All the way outside of the hairpin to the apex. To the curbs on the outside. Full throttle out. Let that Ferrari engine scream. As he dives into pits as well. Leader in the pit lane, leaving Top Secret to stay out. Well, he'll only have 10 minutes out there to come in. Stop and go cleared for Doggy Hat. He'll lose several positions on that endeavor as well. As he's back out on track right in front of Elzebor. A lot of clear track for the Porsche. Lobster stayed out as well. Arish and Beefy also out on track. Pretty much everybody else has done their stop. Smoke still needs to come in. Larkin just now hitting pit limiter. Zeke also needing to come in. Stahl still in first of the already completed laps for mandatory pit stop. Words are hard. 7:74. Still about 8 minutes left. It's hard to waste all of this clean track space once you're out in the lead. That's why I'm not a big fan of mandatory pit windows. If I have clean track, I want to use it and plan my pit stops so I would end up back in clean air. Zeke dives into pit. '74 stayed out as well. And here comes race leader.
You're halfway through. Keep pushing.
It's the halfway point. 45 minutes to go. Lobster stays out, so he'll be scored as race leader for lap 30. But only just. Oh, big tap on the rear from the 22 to the number 4 of Arish. Heading into the final corner. And Beefy pulls trigger and comes back in pit lane. Arish stayed out. Lobster stayed out. Those are the only two that need to do their pit stops besides the 74 of Smokes, who will stay out. Smokes lets race leader go. 46 of Larkin, formerly of SVR, now our newest recruit in TPSR. I'm going to make the social media post about it just after this race. Glad to have Larkin on board. Super enthusiastic, super consistent, and a great driver to drive with. So he's going to fit right in with the team. Doing great right now out on track. Right in front of Doggy Hat. And that is for position. Both first and second in pit lane. This is 24 and the 4 just hitting the rev limiter as Stahl will come across the line and collect first place once again. That Bentley is just so smooth here this weekend. It's a very happy car on this track. Lobster comes out of pit lane, and I believe he is just behind Top Secret. Erish is completed and moving. Where is he going to be compared to the 22? Where is the 22? 22 just now coming through the final corner. He'll come out in plenty of room, so that little tap definitely expanded the gap between these two. So we'll see what happens over the course of the race, because it definitely looked like the 22 Ferrari had a little bit more pace than the Mercedes, but could not find his way around as the drive-through penalty for the number 13 car comes to, oh, there's a 74. That's the 27 car of Doggy Hat spins it, probably catching the sand on the exit of turn 3. Ferrari go. Jump back to TV cameras. Benster in pit lane for his bad boy maneuver. We should see the 47 car, or the 74 car come in this lap or next. Only one to not do his mandatory stop at the moment. This 13 car is free. A lot of these guys shuffling up and down the field so far tonight. Pretty much from 7th, or from 1st to 7th, pretty much maintained the same. But from Vinny all the way back, even all the way back to 19th, they've all pretty much been playing 52 car pickup this entire race. As the 13 car spins tires and loops it right there in front of Doggy Hat, and I believe that's Vinny. Or is that medicated? That might be medicated. Yeah, that's medicated in the second of those Ferraris, the Ferrari Red Ferrari. Smokes is in pit lane, so everybody is done their mandatory pit stop this weekend. And everybody is probably good to go to the end, unless you miscalculated on fuel. Then shame on you. Alright, guys, hydration check. Drink some water. Let's see where the 74 car comes out at. Won't be in danger of losing any positions. Still about 10-second gap between first and second. About a 7-second gap from second to third. No real jaw-dropping changes. Race control confirming that pit window has been closed. Both the McLarens on track, but a few laps apart. Andre and Black Sierra 1 now formed in team points. Doggy Hat passes Elzebor. That is a position change. Medicated well up the road. A lap back is Doggy Hat and Elzebor. Very interesting. Just the overall pace that these leaders are running right now is just incredible. They've already started to put legitimate 2 laps down on certain cars. Stahl carving his way through the field like a goose on Thanksgiving. Or is it Christmas? You have goose on Christmas. That's what it is. Turkey's Thanksgiving. I knew that. You never guess I'm American. I don't know these things. Fenster diving inside to let the race leader go. A lot of respectful blue flags here this weekend, as we've seen so far. Like seeing that. Definitely keep an eye on your mirror as Black 01 comes back into pit lane once again. Everybody is very spread out at the moment. And this battle is still going on strong, though, between Tripolowski and Crazy Mittens. Not often you see a Honda versus Lamborghini battle. Oh, that was the wrong button. Hop on board here with the Honda. Teammate Hunter, not here this weekend. So Mittens doing all of the driving for the team championship points for them. Their team name is Gamers Slow Racing. Not slow in the least, but racing indeed. Go get 'em, gamers. Hop aboard with the 255 Lamborghini. Very metallic silver and black and orange design. Very nice indeed. Great battle going on here with the team between these two, as the Lamborghini definitely has a little bit more of an exit speed than that Honda. I know that Honda is very handling oriented, so we'll see if he can stretch the lead through the twisty bits here. On board as our race leader goes across the line to complete 38 laps so far, and about 32-ish minutes left here in the race. Fenster letting second place LMR Top Secret go through as the 31 car goes off the grass and on to pit exit there. Lately, I find changing up my driver position and overall wheel settings, I am now finding myself a lot more consistent in the car than I used to be. So maybe I'll throw Black CR1 my wheel settings, because I know he's got a Fanatec too. Maybe that might help his consistency. Slow pan of the camera. Nyum, 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 nyum. How's everybody doing? We all hanging in there? It's been an hour past so far. If you need to get up and stretch your legs, now is the time to do so. There's not a whole lot of action going on besides the battle between Triplowski and Mittens, as Triplowski does get through there in that final corner, that final set of corners, giving the position back to Trip, coming across the line. Great drivers there. Ooh, and there's some serious damage to the 31 McLaren. The nose of that car looks like it's about ready to fall off. Very rough for the 31 car. Elzebor door to door with Andre as they head through turn one. The Audis are together on track. Not on the same. Ooh, a little bit of an upset Andre, as he comes through, touching the grass, fighting to keep the car back under control, and the 74, goes through too, but loses the front of the car heading through that section. And Andre gets the spot back over the 74. That was a very bizarre incident. But that's like it just started to slide and then gripped. And off track he went. This battle right here. This is a new one that we haven't seen much of this race. 47 of Elzebor, fantastically consistent racer. Capitalizing on a move. Or a little bit of a mistake on Andre's part. Getting back to 11th. The 992 putting another lap down on the 72. It's now about 13 seconds from first to second. It's an incredible pace by our overall leader of Stell right now. Medicated, letting the race leader go through, heading into the hairpin. The Bentley just looks so big next to the Ferrari. Looks like once the 55 car gets the grip out of the corner, it puts the power down a little bit easier than the Audi, but the Audi is still super consistent all the way through the corner. "25 minutes left on the clock, everybody!" And Andre is still fighting for that position with Elzebor. Erish and Beefy. Beefy is slowly starting to reel in Erish over the past, I'd say, 12 laps or so. It was about 14 seconds, maybe a little bit more, and now down to 7.8 seconds behind. Erish really good through traffic, though. And another super consistent racer. Very, very impressive driving going on here. I am in awe of the speed and consistency of these top guys. And through traffic. It's very impressive to see. You don't get to see this level of focus much from these guys. Usually the tracks are a lot bigger and there's a lot more room to make easy blue flag passes, but for here it's very tight. Very one line racing line from the majority of the track. We've seen incidences, we've seen a few, but nothing that's really raised any flags of, you know, worth severe punishment for. A lot of self-mistakes, putting drivers back on their own accord, but nothing super terrible. Some would say this is just going to be a nice cruise to the end for these top 4, top 5 guys right now. Hoping for a mistake. Yeah, closest guys are about 4 seconds apart. Doggy Hat catching Larkin. That is going to be a pass. A battle for position with overall race leader right behind the 27 Ferrari. And that is going to be put down for another lap, which I believe that'll be down 2 laps at that point. As race leader will come through to complete lap 45. Don't forget to go over to our YouTube channel and check out all of the previous races, not just this season, but all of the series that we've had so far here in ACC. As Doggy Hat lets race leader go once he figures out, oh shoot, that's a Bentley. And go, oh, the 47 car and Andre, they get into it just before the hairpin. And both look like they have serious damages. And they'll let Trip go and Buzzball go. Oh, as Benster goes off in the hairpin right behind them. Maybe they're dropping oil out on the track. Not quite sure. As these two will definitely come into pit lane for repairs. Gap is now 5 seconds between Beefy and Arish. That gap is slowly diminishing. Arish, you have 20 minutes to hang on to that gap. Can he do it? Let me open up another water. I'm very thirsty. It's very hot here today. Crack. Benster letting Beefy go. Benster going deep into the first chicane, taking the gravel way out, kicking up some marbles on his way through. Medicated in 6, right behind Beefy, but about a half a track back. Elzabor and Andre still in pit lane, as it looks like they're just now starting to roll, as Elzabor makes the first out of pit lane. That must have been some serious damages by those two. Let's head down to the pit lane reporter Weasel for more details. Yeah, they were on the back side of the track and they just got together and hit the tire wall. Severe damages on both. Pit crew still working on the 55 car as we speak, but the 47 car of Elzabor wasn't as bad. Slapped some tape on it and sent him back out. All right, thank you, Weasel. Much appreciated. Right there. They will lose several positions, but not many because most of the drivers behind them are a few laps down at that point. Andre will lose a position to Fuzzball. He is still in pit lane and losing positions. That is not good. With only 18 minutes left to go, and he's off the Jackson. He's rolling. Triplowski's starting to reel in PTG Onyx once again, as SVR Larkin just up the road from them. No, not Doggy Hat just up the road from Larkin. Those two quite gapped out a little bit. Out there on track. A little bit of a wiggle from that Lexus. Onto the front straight and across the line. Oop, going a little deep into turn 1. From Onyx, that's going to put Triplowski on the outside line through turn 2. And he gets the pass done relatively cleanly. That was a beautiful move there from the 255 Lamborghini. Plenty of room for the pass. Nicely done, gentlemen. And now we're back to everybody has their own zip code. Look at that mini-map. This is where you insert that meme where the little stick man's got a stick and he's poking something. Kind of like do something. I mean, do something. Come on. Poke. Poke, poke, poke. Beefy making a massive chunk of time out of Arish. Was about 4 seconds a lap ago. Now down to 2. He can see him. He can smell him. It's Arish. See what I did there? Now, this is the point where you don't want to overdo it. You still have 16 minutes left in this race. Beefy knows where Arish is fast and where that Ferrari is best out on track. Drive through for track limits for LMR Top Secret. That is massive implications for championship points. Just taking a little bit of too much out of the Sector 2 chicane. Sector 2 chicane. As there's an Audi off. That's the 47 car is off track again. In turn 3, that seems to be a terrible spot for those guys. Audi's not loving the high-speed corners right now as the 992 comes through pit lane. As 617 of style is going to breathe a little bit room of relief knowing that there's a... Oh, there goes! There goes a McLaren. I believe that was the 55. No, it's not the 55. That was Black ZR1. Black ZR1 back out on track. Definitely collects the wall on the outside. It's like he's got the traction control way, way down. Or something in that car. Because it just sent him to the inside. Easy with the throttle. Easy. On board with race leader as he's going to come through to complete 50 laps here. Very impressive lap count so far this race. So there goes Benster. These race leaders officially putting everybody down 2 laps. Just from the immense pace that they have. So everybody's still relatively close together. A couple drivers, a couple extra laps down from incidences and damages, but for the most part, everybody is still together as Doggy Hat is coming up to Vinny. will rock on board with Helicam as Vinny comes into the first set of chicanes. Great run out of that second chicane from Doggy Hat, looking to the outside line and going to try and do a out-braking maneuver into the second set of chicanes and does it beautifully. Vinny giving plenty of room as he goes flying off track right there behind him, but kept it pointed in the right direction. Check on board with SVR Larkin. Just a couple seconds back behind Vinny now. Beefy now just half a second away from the number 4 Mercedes. 12 minutes to go. Under braking, definitely closing that gap under braking. Does the Mercedes have the extra oomph it needs to stay out in front of that 22 Ferrari for the remaining 12 minutes of this race? SPS stall pretty comfortably out in the lead, right in front of second place Lobster. As Top Secret, not incredibly far behind Lobster, even though he just had to do a drive-through penalty a few laps ago. And 20 seconds back is this battle with Arish. The 72 and 55 for lap traffic for Lobster. Oh, 72 gets a little squirrely through the second chicane and Lobster goes through. I don't know if that was a panic moment from the 72 car, but he'll go through. Beefy looking to make a move, going through. The timing and scoring of the first sector, but still remains behind the number 4 car. Few minutes left. You don't want to overextend track limits and have to do that painful drive-through. Oh, Beefy having to dive to the outside to avoid a rear-end collision as the Fuzzball has to do the same, but goes to the inside line to avoid the Triplowski in his Lamborghini. Could have been a lot worse. Now less than 10 minutes to go here in round 4 at Zolder. 52 laps completed, race leader about to come through and complete 53. Great launch out of these corners as Mittens lets race leader go through. Still a little bit of time left to get the move done as Beefy still under a second away from Arish. These two are going to start risking it for the biscuit coming into the final minutes now. Arish looks like he's got the edge through the twisty bits here, but the brakes of that Ferrari definitely on point right now. Beefy is going to have to use that tune advantage either here in the hairpin or coming into that first set of chicanes. Getting close enough to pull the trigger is the issue. only 8 minutes left. You know Erish isn't going to want to play nice. He's not going to give any room or even leave the door open for any amount of time. A fantastic defensive driver. Already defending the inside line through a couple of these corners, but that's leaving Beefy with enough room to make a move to the outside. Not the passing side through these set of corners. But it's going to set Beefy up for an over-under move coming on to this back straight. Beefy positioning himself on the outside once again, heading into the second set of chicanes. But that's not where he needs to be. Ferrari looking to the outside once again into the second set of chicanes here. This is where Erish definitely has the better of the two machines. Beefy setting up the outside, try to do another over-under. Definitely doesn't want to overbreak himself like he did before. Top Secret now just 11 seconds behind Lobster. Going to be a battle to watch for the remainder of the race as these two are still going at it. A little bit of a battle between Vinny and SVR Larkin going on at the moment, as well as PTG Onyx and Triplowski. And Andre just behind Elzebor once again by just a few seconds. Beefy right up underneath the wing of Erish, heading into the first set of chicanes, sets himself up on the outside once again. Erish defending the inside. Andre getting by the 47 car through the hairpin. Not entirely sure what had happened or gone down there. We'll jump back to this battle here between the 4 and the 22. Beefy on the outside of Erish. Both get on the power about the same amount of time, but with the inside line, Erish definitely has the advantage. And sets himself up to defend the inside line through the final set of corners here. Ooh, a little bit of tire spin from the Ferrari. Are those tires starting to fade? Five minutes to go. It's about 3 laps left for these guys. Ferrari so good through that high downforce corner there of turn 3. Erish once again defending the inside line through into the second chicane. First chicane. Oh, and there's an Audi off there. Through the double right-hander. That's the 74 car. Oh, Beefy right up next door. Defending the inside line. Door to door as they head into the final corners with the Erish on the inside line. Is he going to try and outbrake him? Erish defending quite nicely. Beefy had a great setup there, but couldn't get the power down to get on to the defending side. Ferrari great through these high-speed corners. on the outside line. Definitely being able to get on the power sooner. If he could just stay super clean and super consistent through these, he could get an edge on the outside line. Almost too wide there, though. But has the speed on the straight, but Arish definitely comes across to defend the inside line once again. These two practically joined at the hip all race long. Arish super smooth and consistent in his Mercedes. Beefy definitely with the faster car, but Arish is making that Mercedes about 6 Mercedes wide here at Zolder. Already a hard track to pass, but definitely making it much, much harder. And these guys are going to have about 2 laps to go now, as just behind them is overall race leader. I'd say about 7 seconds. Once again, side to side through the first chicane. Beefy trying to use all the track and then some. Grass isn't the grippy stuff. And they'll have one more lap to go as... Uh-oh. SPS Stall might be able to make it to the next lap. We'll see how he runs this one out. He's gonna do it. He's gonna go for one more. One more lap. White flag flies for the race leader. That is something Arish did not want to hear. Beefy with a great run. Still not enough, though. Arish pushing him all the way out to the grass. PTG, Onyx, and Trip. Looks like Trip got around PTG. And that's Fuzzball right there behind them as well. Not a battle for position, but a battle for lap. And they'll have one more lap here between the 4 and the 22 as they go across the line with Arish in the lead at the moment. Beefy looking to the inside line on the Mercedes. And that's 60 laps completed by race leader. The 617 completes the race in a spectacular way. Super consistent, super fast, but the battle to watch is right here still. Beefy still on the outside of the Mercedes. Can't really outbrake him into the hairpin or the chicane. Oh, catching the curb, bouncing. He lost a lot of ground to that. Lobster takes second in the 24 Ferrari. And the 992 will come across the line in third. Those are your podium spots, but I do not want to miss the action right here between GRT Arish and B Fifey 22. This battle has been going strong from the beginning of the race and all the way to the end and then some. Door to door for I don't know how many times. Arish still leading, making that Mercedes incredibly big all race long. And Arish will take fourth over Beefy. Wow, that was an amazing run. And that is your list on the left side of your screen. Stall, Lobster, Top Secret, Arish, Beefy, Medication. Medication coming back and taking position from Zeke, I see. Fantastic. Zeke in 7th, 8th is Doggy Hat. Vinny in 9th, SVR Larkin. Triplowski. 12th is Onyx. 13th is Mittens. TPSR Smokes in 14th. 15th is Fuzzball. 16th is Andre. 17th is Elzebor. Elzebor dropped quite a bit. He was up much higher. 18th is Benster. And 19th is Black ZR1. That was an incredible race. You guys would agree. I am super glad that all of you were here to witness that with me, TPSR Weasel, as your commentator. That is pretty much going to be it for us tonight. Go ahead. I'm so excited. Go and head over to our Discord channel and hang out there and register for our upcoming Porsche Cup series, as well as you can become a reserve driver for this series. If we're missing a spot, you can fill in. Check out all of our cool stuff. We're always talking about random stuff and racing alike there. Come and join the family. TPSR Esport is looking for drivers to join our family so we can do more events, which I'll talk to some other stuff later about that. Also, head over to our social media over on Twitter at @thepaddock_sim and follow that for all of the latest and greatest information and news that we have to offer. And you're watching this on YouTube, so hit that little red button on the bottom of your screen if you want to, if you feel like it. If you kind of don't have to, but it'd be really cool if you did. All of our races are backlogged here over on our video tab. That's pretty much it. Next weekend, we do not have a race for our GT3 Pro Driver Series. There is an endurance race over at IXR that a lot of people are taking part in. I think that's the charity race. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't looked up a whole lot about it, but a lot of these guys that you saw tonight will be over there. So definitely go over there and check them out. I believe they are streaming that event, so I'll figure out how they're streaming it, and I will post links on our social media. See, go over and follow us on our social media. Yeah, I believe that's it from me, Weasel. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Big ups to SPS Stall for running an incredibly consistent and alien pace this entire race. And I will see you guys next weekend, not next weekend, but the weekend after for Paul Ricard. Yeah, 2 hours of Paul Ricard. So that's going to be a fantastic race. No doubt. All right, guys. I've been Weasel. Everybody have a good morning, good afternoon, and evening. Bye, everybody.